Global politics and major international developments. US-Iran tensions sharpen with the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier deployed to the Middle East, signaling a contingency posture as Washington keeps military options open amid ongoing diplomatic strains with Tehran. President Donald Trump nominates Kevin Warsh, former Federal Reserve Governor, as his pick to lead the U.S. Central Bank, a move that could reshape U.S. monetary policy ahead of the 2026 midterms. U.S. lawmakers plan a high-profile Indo-Pacific strategy meeting focused on India's role in balancing China's growing influence in the region, reflecting shifts in global strategic priorities. A partial U.S. government shutdown begins after Congress fails to pass a full 2026 budget before the Saturday deadline, though a quick resolution is expected early next week as negotiations continue. Russia and Ukraine confirm a humanitarian exchange of soldiers' bodies and a temporary pause in attacks on energy infrastructure amid severe winter conditions, though tensions persist in the prolonged conflict. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer concludes a major visit to China, aiming to deepen broad strategic cooperation and economic ties between London and Beijing. At least 170 civilians were killed in Myanmar air strikes during the recent election period, according to a United Nations Rights Office report, underscoring severe humanitarian concerns. A suspicious drone briefly entered Indian airspace over J&K's Sambai district, prompting security responses as regional vigilance remains high. National Investigation Agency, NIA, takes over the probe into Beldanga violence in West Bengal following the death of a migrant worker, highlighting ongoing law and order issues in eastern India. Cambodian hospitals provided free treatment to over 1 million children last year, part of expanded public health initiatives across Southeast Asia. Malaysia reiterates strong support for the Philippines in ASEAN leadership efforts, while also playing an active role in negotiating South China Sea Code of Conduct talks. India, national headlines and policy news. India's Economic Survey 2025-26 shows robust macroeconomic momentum, with stable fundamentals and broad-based growth supported by investment and consumption. The Tourism Ministry holds the closing ceremony of Bharat Parv 2026 at the Red Fort in Delhi, showcasing India's cultural heritage during a week-long event attended by the Vice President. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls India-EU free trade agreement transformative, expected to boost markets, create jobs, and expand economic ties between New Delhi and Brussels. Indo-Japan Navan staff talks conclude in New Delhi, strengthening maritime cooperation and interoperability in the Indo-Pacific. West Bengal's Election Commission moves to exclude voters with invalid documents from special revision rolls, an important development ahead of future state elections. Odisha's net state domestic product rises 13% to 7.90 lakh rupees crore, marking strong regional economic growth in FY 2024-25. Virtual queue bookings open for Sabrimala Darshan in Kerala during the Kumbh month, modernizing pilgrim access in the sacred region. Union Home Minister Amit Shah launches 1,715 crore rupees development projects in Dibrugarh, Assam, tying infrastructure expansion to broader economic growth. United States, domestic and politics. The U.S. government shutdown affects multiple federal agencies, though the disruption is expected to be brief as Congress works toward a funding deal. The Trump administration announces an increase of roughly 65,000 H-2B seasonal worker visas for 2026, aiming to address labor shortages in sectors like hospitality and landscaping. Justice Department releases millions of pages of Epstein-related files, drawing media scrutiny and revealing that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick planned a trip to Epstein's private island, raising renewed political and ethical questions. Economy and business. Indian stock markets saw significant movements as global uncertainties and market correction risks cloud India's near-term growth outlook, according to top economic advisors. India narrows its April-December fiscal deficit to 8.55 lakh rupees crore, a welcome sign for macroeconomic managers ahead of the 2026-27 budget season. Science, technology and space. Quantum computing researchers announce a major breakthrough in stabilizing next-gen quantum systems, a potential leap toward more powerful and error-resilient machines. Artemis II lunar flyby mission preparations move ahead, marking the first crewed lunar swingby since Apollo as NASA resets its exploration agenda for 2026. Blue Origin pauses its New Shepard space tourism program for at least 2 years, shifting focus to crewed lunar exploration, a move that reshapes commercial spaceflight expectations. Sports and entertainment. The WWE Royal Rumble 2026 event takes place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The first time the historic wrestling match is held outside North America, with winners earning title shots at WrestleMania 42. WWE Friday Night SmackDown serves as the final lead-in to the Royal Rumble, with marquee matches setting up big storylines ahead of the main event. European football transfer headlines dominated headlines, with Benfica drawing Real Madrid again in the Champions League and Fulham signing Manchester City winger Oscar Bobb for £27 million, capturing the mid-season transfer buzz.